My name is Fletcher. I'm Senior Lecturer in Acting and Performance at Solent University. For a lot of years now I've been involved in providing some performance material for our Holocaust Memorial Day commemoration. And this year is particularly interesting for me because I'm using a personal family story as the basis for the work that we're performing. A few months ago I came across, I inherited a box of photographs from my family, and amongst them were some photos of my great uncle, but during his Navy days in the 1940s, and he served in the Mediterranean on naval ships. And I was interested in these photos and did a bit more research into them, and discovered that one of his jobs in the Navy, and one of the jobs of the ships that he served on, was to blockade Palestine and stop Jewish immigrants coming into Palestine from Europe in the aftermath of the Second World War. And I was really interested in that story and the sort of historic role that he played in the history of that region at that time. And so I took one of those photos in particular and made it the basis for the performance. I've got two students from the Acting, Performance and Musical Theatre degrees to perform tonight. One of them is performing as my great uncle, Albert Goff, and the other one is performing as a Jewish refugee. He has to speak in Hebrew and so on during the performance as well. And I use students every year for this opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity for students both to engage with this sort of serious material, but also to hone and practice their acting skills in a public arena like this.
Monday, 17th of February 1947.
Monday, 17th of February 1947.
80 miles from our destination, Haifa in Eretz Israel.
We're about 80 miles off the coast of Palestine, patrolling. Fool's errand if you ask me, but then we spot a boat, second in a fortnight.
We thought we'd made it. Home and dry, and then over the horizon appears a British ship, intent on stopping us.
Lena, it says on the stern, but that means nothing. They rename all these Jewish boats as soon as they set out. Something impossible to pronounce.
Amapil Almoni, we call our boat. The unknown immigrant, in honor of those who haven't made it.
I've been on the HMS St Austell base since last autumn. They're on the Sirius before this. Operating out of Malta we are, all over the Eastern Med. Decent little number, but it's not all milk and honey. Got a scare last October, I can tell you, when we saw HMS Sumares towed into Balao. All busted up. Hit a stray mine in the Corfu Channel, 30 dead. We've doubled the watch since then. I guess that's why we're seeing so many of these Jewish boats.
Eagle-eyed they are, homing in on the smallest speck on the waves. They say this is one of the ships that stopped the Negev a week ago. 657 people on that boat, all sent to a holding camp in Cyprus. Is that what awaits us?
They're saying there are 807 Jews over there. 462 men, 212 women, and 133 children. 807 for God's sake, on a tub that looks like an old couple of dozen. Where they all sleep, that's what I want to know. And it looks about ready to sink into the bargain. What on earth possesses them to make such a madcap journey?
To be honest, I'd take almost anything just now to get off this leaky wreck. 8 days we've been at sea. Our decks are packed as full as a rush hour subway. Our people sleep standing up or invade the wheelhouse and collapse at the floor at the feet of the Turkish pilot. We have one bathroom and it stinks heartily, and most of all, the holds. Dark and forbidding, where desperate men and women fight each other for the smallest scrap of moldy bread. But now I can't.
Though going the other way, I can understand it. Trying to get into Europe? Okay, things are imperfect. There's still a lot of rebuilding to do, still scarcity, but it's all looking bright, isn't it? The war to end all wars, and now we can concentrate on the peace. Why did anyone pick now to do a run?
18 months the war's been over. Now, those of us lucky enough managed to survive it. Managed to survive Treblinka or Auschwitz or wherever. You're free, they said, you're free, as they liberated us from those death camps. But we weren't free. It was just a different sort of torment. DPs, they called us. Displaced persons, because we had no home to go back to. Everything we once had was gone. So they put us in settlement camps. More camps.
Don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against them Jewish people. I mean, they've suffered, haven't they? Not that we knew much about it, until we saw the newsreels at the end of the war. Hard to stomach they were. I feel for them, I really do, but Palestine, that's a British territory, innit? And we've got to protect our interests. That's what Captain says, anyway.
In the midst of those settlement camps, in the midst of countries that had turned on us, that had betrayed us, that had despised us, that had destroyed us, what had we left but our dream? Dreams of a better life, of a better. In Eretz Israel. God, we are so close now, they cannot send us to Cyprus.
We sent a boarding party over to size up the situation. Turns out, a few of the passengers got a bit violent. Tried to repel our boys. One or two heads got cracked in. What's that for, eh? Are we on the same side? We're just trying to do what's best for them. Anyway, we rigged a tow line and called for backup. Thankfully, HMS Welfare weren't far away. The sight of her soon put paid to any dreams of resistance.
I've carried that dream with me for so long. The length and breadth of Europe. Poland, Czechoslovakia, Austria, Schweiz, Tzarfat, Italia. Walking across borders in the dead of night, nervously riding buses and trains with hat pulled down tight in fear of being spotted. Held in detention for weeks or months at a time and holed up in this leaky wreck, but all the time singing Chalutzim Greiten sich vor Eretz Israel. All that time the dream of a new homeland has never left me. And to remind me of that dream, I have this. A coin from that Palestina of theirs. A coin that has already been where I will soon set foot. I can almost smell it, we are so close.
Tell you what, I should get a picture of this. Send it home to Mum, show her what I'm up to. I've got this camera in Valletta, sort of Christmas present to myself. Got some great pics of it on the George, little George, ship's mascot, at the Christmas Day photo match. Cool, that dog did look funny in his little uniform. Oh, look out. Looks like Welfare's got the tow line sorted. He's about to take that crate in tow.
What's that? Someone's got the camera. I guess they need their evidence. Another boat of the Aliyah intercepted. Another few hundred troublesome Jews mercifully kept off our precious soil. Oh, how fortunate. What good people we are. Won't the British people be pleased? Aren't we the heroes of the Mediterranean? It feels like we're moving. That other ship's towing us to Cyprus, no doubt. But they're wrong if they think we'll be content to stay there. We'll try again. And try again. And try again. One day, we'll get there. One way or another. Eretz Israel.
And there they go. Captain says Welfare's taken to Haifa. Seems I'll make it to Palestine after all. Of course, they'll be out for processing. And quarantined, I don't doubt, considering the conditions on that boat. Well, maybe they'll get what they wanted. Fresh start, eh? Maybe it's what they deserve. What's that poem we learnt in school? Oh, by Longfellow, I think. Ships that pass, something.
Ships that pass in the night and speak each other in passing.
Only a signal shown, and a distant voice in the darkness.
So in the ocean of life, we speak and pass one another.
Only a look, and a voice, then darkness again, and a silence. As for us, it's back to Malta for some rest and relaxation. Can't wait to get these pictures developed, see how they turn out. Who knows? One day, they might just be looked on as a nice piece of history.